These are the sights and sounds of DARCOM, the sights and sounds of the United States Army Material Development and Readiness Command, as told by the men and women who know it best, the people who work for it.
Because of us, the men and women of DARCOM, today's modern army confidently moves up on a simulated enemy position under the cover of night, using modern pre-tested combat equipment that they know they can rely on to do the job needed. Hidden in total darkness, outfitted with infrared night vision goggles and electronic sensing equipment, they easily detect the enemy.
Because of us, the men and women of DARCOM, technicians working at missile ranges like this all over the U.S., are able to hit targets many miles away in test after test with bullseye accuracy.
Because of us, the men and women of DARCOM, soldiers now on patrol on our frozen northern boundaries are comfortably dressed and equipped to effectively defend the U.S. even in temperatures of minus 80 degrees. For we're the men and women who provide material support to our combat-ready troops wherever they may be.
Working behind the scenes, each of us working for DARCOM, military and civilian alike, makes sure our American soldiers and their allies have what's needed to make them the best equipped fighting force in the world.
No matter where they are stationed, the men and women of DARCOM make up a unique military command.
DARCOM is made up of more than 100,000 soldiers and civilians. At most DARCOM installations, civilians like myself outnumber those in uniform 10 to 1. No command is more diverse than DARCOM. It's responsible for the research, development, and production of almost every aspect of Army material procurement.
That is responsible for more than 95% of the Army's total defense procurement budget.
DARCOM is a relatively new command. It replaces the former Army Materiel Command, organized in 1962. From its headquarters near Washington, D.C., DARCOM operates more than 60 major installations and more than 240 separate activities in the United States to help the Army carry out its global military missions.
DARCOM combines a number of separate branches of the Army: research and development, technical and supply services, signal and engineers, ordnance and quartermaster, transportation, and chemical.
At R&D activities all over the United States, everything imaginable is developed for future Army use. An associate and I, for example, work in this anechoic chamber lined with microwave absorbent material, trying to come up with more effective and lighter weight antenna systems.
Extensive research and development is done at other DARCOM facilities on such things as color, to see which colors fade in sunlight and which colors blend best with the terrain for effective camouflage. Here, newly created synthetic fabrics are tested annually in 100 different ways. Will they withstand the stress of constant and rugged wear in a score of climatic and environmental conditions? What color is most visible to rescue parties trying to locate a downed pilot in Alaska? Which fabrics will keep the patient warm until medical help arrives?
Food and the best ways to preserve it is another DARCOM concern. Daily, we make every effort to make meals more nutritious, to improve on the packaging of them, so our troops in the field can carry them more easily and dispose of them without littering the environment.
These damaged and over-modeled tanks are on their way to be overhauled by people like me at one of DARCOM's major repair depots in the South.
Here, heavy-duty tanks are completely taken apart and conversions made to meet up-to-the-minute combat requirements. Piece by piece, we rebuild and reassemble them in good-as-new condition. The turnaround time is short, and the savings in time and money considerable. The combat life of each tank extended for years to come.
At another DARCOM installation, DARCOM people oversee the development and testing of a new helicopter that can outperform any other now in use. It should put us tactically in the forefront during the 1980s.
Besides R&D and testing activities, DARCOM is responsible for supplying everything from A to Z, anywhere our troops may be.
Name it, and chances are that DARCOM personnel not only had a hand in working on its development, but also the testing of it and getting it produced.
This is true regardless of what today's fighting men and women may need to do their jobs anywhere, now, or in the next several decades.
To do this, DARCOM operates a system that can keep tabs on the 10,000,001 items that DARCOM must store and stockpile at the facilities it operates in this country and overseas.
DARCOM administers an annual budget of more than $13 billion. To accomplish this, DARCOM uses a network of contractors second to none, providing jobs for millions of American workers.
Not all of DARCOM's procurement billions go to the largest companies. Through DARCOM's efforts, the Army, of all military agencies, is now the leading user of small business and minority companies.
It wasn't until I was assigned to DARCOM that I fully appreciated how complex a job it is to outfit us and to see that we have the things that we need to stop the enemy.
If the U.S. were to go to war today, devastating losses most likely would occur on both sides in a relatively short period of time, due to the increased firepower, accuracy, range, and mobility made possible by modern technology.
We must be prepared to be outnumbered as well. Now, to meet this threat, our forces must be more effective, soldier for soldier, weapon for weapon, unit for unit. To fight and win, even the best trained troops must have proper materiel support and superior weapon systems and equipment to support them.
I always try to keep this in mind all the time. Whether or not a piece of equipment operates the way it should could decide a battle. Regardless of how routine the tasks may seem, I want to do it right.
Defective or malfunctioning equipment could mean the difference between life and death, even in peacetime.
Regardless what job you have at DARCOM, it contributes to the well-being of some GI out there in some way. I try never to forget this, no matter what I do.
To see the Army has everything under the sun takes a lot of people. DARCOM people with a lot of different skills. Scientists and engineers, maintenance experts, mechanics, supply clerks, forklift operators, machinists, and administrative staff, inspectors, people who turn the bolts and do the welding, the think tank types, and the hands-on people, military and civilian that do the work for DARCOM, people that can be counted on to get the job done.
The projects DARCOM people take part in are extensive. DARCOM people are vigorously engaged in such things as the modification of existing helicopters.
At other DARCOM repair facilities, DARCOM workers concentrate on the development of better combat vehicles with greater maneuverability and firepower than the Army has today.
Some of us at DARCOM oversee projects that will give us improved air defense. Like this. Other DARCOM workers turn out equipment needed by our soldiers to suppress the enemy's firepower on the ground.
Still others at DARCOM improve the equipment needed for combat surveillance and target acquisition.
Many others spend their working day producing sophisticated electronic warfare equipment to meet a variety of global requirements.
To see the Army has more effective equipment for operations and security, People at other DARCOM commands wrestle with the technical problems involved.
Hundreds more see to it the Army has the needed stockpile of conventional ammunition, a continual need.
Meanwhile, at other installations, DARCOM workers see to it that we have the most sophisticated tactical equipment, superior to those of any potential enemy.
Nothing is overlooked.
DARCOM workers even see to it our soldiers have superior chemical defense capabilities in the event the enemy launches such an attack.
DARCOM is made up of 8 research and development commands, 5 material readiness commands, a test and evaluation command, a depot system command, along with a security and assistance center to help DARCOM deliver the material support needed. Supplies for over 500 Army units and installations worldwide are provided through the direct support system.
Under this concept, material is distributed directly from the depot level to the end user, bypassing intermediate storage depots previously used. The direct support system gets needed equipment to the troops requesting it in the shortest possible time.
I can't believe it's here already. Hey, this lady's in pretty good shape, man.
Roger, got this M113. You want to sign for it?
Yeah, but put it back over here by the back ramp so we can unload it.
Sure will.
Thanks.
All Army shipments to the eastern United States and Europe originate from the New Cumberland Army Depot in Pennsylvania. All shipments to the central United States and South America from the Red River Army Depot in Texas. And to the western United States, Alaska, and the Pacific from Sharp Army Depot in California.
Because many requests for equipment or supplies must be filled yesterday, DARCOM uses ALOC, Air Lines of Communications. ALOC permits urgent repair parts and equipment to be flown directly to the end user. Parts are taken to designated airfields for shipment to waiting customers.
It's no cliche. DARCOM really is customer-oriented. As a project manager for Firefinder, I can attest to the fact that we stand behind our equipment. Our objective is to satisfy our users' needs, from the initial issue of the equipment to the total life cycle support.
Every effort is made to see that everything shipped works when it arrives, no matter how it is delivered.
DARCOM Logistic Assistance Officers, known as LAOs, are available on a worldwide basis to provide technical assistance to commanders in the field to ensure that their equipment is in a high state of readiness.
Under handoff procedures, DARCOM personnel must see that end items are there and component parts are working properly before new equipment is turned over to our soldiers, both active and reserve.
During the week, I'm the mayor of a small city in the Midwest, but on weekends, I put on an Army uniform as a member of the Army Reserve. Before DARCOM, we trained with equipment the regular Army didn't want or couldn't use. Today, DARCOM gives us the same equipment as the regular Army with the same guarantees. DARCOM support is the same to the active Army and to reserve components.
Through DARCOM, hundreds of thousands of items are now accessible to support the Army National Guard and the Army Reserve units in the United States. DARCOM is also heavily involved in providing the best possible technical on-the-job training support for both the Guard and the Reserve, so that they know how to turn out or maintain the latest Army equipment and supplies.
So far, we have seen how DARCOM supports total Army readiness in peacetime. But what if an international situation should escalate and the United States and its allies find themselves forced into open conflict? Will DARCOM be able to resupply expendables ammunition, fuel, food, and supplies quickly with the existing funds allotted by Congress?
The mere fact that DARCOM can help an infantry division in Europe maintain a ready-for-war status does not mean that DARCOM itself is ready for a war of long duration, or that the European theater on the whole is ready.
A ready-for-war status means only that the division has its people trained and its equipment operational.
Equally essential to the conduct of any war is a ready source of ammunition. And DARCOM's our nation's sole manager for the production of conventional ammunition, not only for the Army, but also for the Navy and Air Force.
DARCOM supervises the manufacture of ammunition, provides storage, and arranges for ammunition delivery to the ports of embarkation in this country.
At present, the active ammunition plants are fewer than at any time since World War II. Skeleton crews are maintained in all inactive plants. They are prepared to act immediately to reactivate the supply lines at any time.
In these changing times, the level of Army War Reserves, our stockpile of weapon systems and equipment and supplies must be maintained. No matter if they are prepositioned POMCA stocks or depot stocks, they must be replenished and relocated as the theaters of strategic concern change with current events.
DARCOM depots are continually undergoing readiness evaluation to ensure they can respond rapidly to an increased workload. The ability of DARCOM's computer systems to handle the higher volume of requisitions that we would expect in wartime is regularly assessed. To ensure that all of its major projects are efficiently and economically managed, DARCOM assigns sole responsibility for each one to a different individual called the project manager.
Project managers must have full field experience, combined with a working knowledge of industrial processes and technology. As a result of this system, development time and production time for new weapons have been significantly reduced.
Everyone at DARCOM is aware of the technological race we are in for delivery of new and sophisticated combat equipment, from the moment it is first conceived to its practical use by American soldiers.
Security assistance is another responsibility of the men and women of DARCOM. We're responsible for the sale of arms and weapon systems to NATO organizations and other nations we cooperate with. Security assistance has given the United States greater interchangeability and has improved our fighting strength.
To give our troops and allies the fighting edge in battle, if a new or increased threat should suddenly and unexpectedly arise, DARCOM is prepared to improve the capabilities of the existing weapons systems in the field.
History reveals it's not always our military force alone that makes enemies hesitate to start a war, but the vast production capabilities this country can assemble in times of a national emergency.
DARCOM is the Army's instrument to manage and effectively use American industry once mobilized.
With this in mind, the men and women of DARCOM continually streamline their specifications and methods of procurement.
They experiment with new and innovative storage techniques.
And employ every modern distribution procedure at their disposal.
From the largest tank to the smallest part, the men and women of DARCOM will continue to make every effort to ensure that our troops always have the very best, not only before, but during and after any conflict. For readiness is our goal, and our people make it happen.
We'll see that they have the very best.
You can count on us.
We won't let them down.
After all, that's what we're here for.